morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity. Welcome everyone on live stream as well. And this is an adjustment to come out here, and I'm just so grateful for who is here, though, and that's a wonderful thing. So we're just going to come into the presence of this room, and we just start by singing this song. Are we on? And I'm going to invite Norma to come and join me. Just leave the world outside these doors and sing these words, and just remember your connection with this greater power, this greater love we call God, Source, Spirit, whatever word makes you feel hugged, and we'll sing it into the universe. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way home. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way home. Guide your way home. So it is.
Hey, good morning, everyone. It's really great to see this crowd out here showing up in physical church. You know, where is everybody? Show up. We have all the stuff taken care of. We're following all the regulations. You couldn't be in a more sanitized place than this. This is more sanitized than the operating rooms in hospitals. Okay? So show up. We'd love to have you. And by the way, if you're tuning in and watching this on a screen, you know, you can text your friends and let them know you're tuning into the Unity of Boulder service, which is always great, inspiring, uplifting, and fun. A lot of fun here. So, and thank you for tuning in. And look, you know, we're still in the world. While we teach the truth of divine transformation, we're still in the world, and we have to pay our way in the physical world. So we appreciate your tithes and your offerings, and you can tune into Unity of Boulder. Well, make it info@unityofboulder.com. And we have about 4 or 5 ways you can make your donation. And there's a little tab right on your screen. So after the service, hit the tab and share a little bit of the money that helps us to continue to give these beautiful services. Today, they've decided to sing a Beatles song. And I just would like to share with you that I spent some time with the Beatles when they were doing their first tour in New York City. They were in New York City doing their first, you know, national tour of the U.S. And I worked as a waiter in the Carnegie Hall bar and confectionery, where we had croissant sandwiches and French pastries, and we had a bar. I worked as a waiter there, and they were in the dressing room, and they ordered by phone some sandwiches and pastries and Coke. So when they were all made and ready to go, I took them back to the dressing room and gave them their order, and they were all just hanging around. And I hung around a little longer and said, I know the manager's picking up the tab on this. And I kind of lingered, hoping I would get a tip. They were already millionaires at that point. And no.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Boulder, those who are here in our sanctuary and those who are watching us online. We'd like to remind all of you, if you're not on our email list, please get on it. You can just send us an email at info@unityofboulder.com that you'd like to get on that list, and we'll put you on it. That's the best way to find out everything that's upcoming, events, services, classes, everything. We send out mass emails about stuff all the time, changes of upcoming openings and everything else, all the changes that are going on in this current time we're in right now. So if you're not on that email list, we invite you to please join it. Also, Jack had invited everyone to give offerings by going to info@unityofboulder.com. That's where you get on the email list. You actually want to go to unityofboulder.com to find ways to give love offerings to Unity of Boulder. And we'd also like to remind you that we are, aside from this 11 a.m. service that we have every Sunday, that we are having live and in person here in the sanctuary, that will be led by Syntysche. We're having that every week. We also are still having our 9 a.m. meditation services led by Jack and Norma, and Norma always plays her beautiful bowls. And we also are still we are open for our Wednesday night meditation service every Wednesday at 7 p.m. led by Jack and Norma as well. And we also have a Monday meditation led by Shad that's from 5:30 to 6:30, although we're not having it this week. That is an ongoing thing that anyone can come and check out. So if you haven't checked any of those out, please do. We've got our whole band today is guest musicians, so we'd like to thank our pianist Marsha Jordan, Marsha Johnson, Bruce Johnson, and you'll see our drummer here shortly, Bo Harding, who's also my neighbor. All right, enjoy the service.
Even our neighbors don't get out of it if we don't have musicians. We're like, come on, don't you want to come play the drums at the church? All right, let's all rise. We're just going to start by singing and just leave the words, leave the life out there, and let's have some fun.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Here we go. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Thank you.
Beautiful singing, even though I can't see your mouths singing with those masks on your faces. That's something I'm never going to get used to, I have to say. All right, now I'll put this hat on. We're a little short-staffed right at the moment, so Spirit is just divinely guided every aspect of this Sunday, and we're so grateful that we have so many talented people in our lives, and people are so eager to do the creative, like be a part of their creative nature, because if we play instruments, we need to play them right now. If we sing, we need to be singing right now. If we dance, we've got to be dancing. If we, do yoga, this is a time to really move the energy of this world out of our bodies. And if there's not any greater way, it's the creative outlet that helps us move and navigate through these times. So my talk title today is The Brakes Have Come Off. And the point of me bringing up this title was that that's how it feels to me. It's just like the brakes are off and we're just going in this forward motion and watching so many things fall away that we're attached to, and watching so many things happen in the world where you just can't even grasp to all of the things that are happening right now. And how do we navigate as we keep in this forward motion to stay in the center and in the presence of our divine nature when there's so much to get our attention to distract ourselves from that greater love that resides within all of us? There's a quote that says, "Notice how birds land on a branch with absolute trust. They trust that the branch will move with them as they land and then stabilize. We can do the same. What if your landing isn't what you expected and you wobble? Does that mean you will fall? Absolutely not. Even gymnasts land in a way that forces them to deal with their weight and forward movement. You are strong, and you can do the same. Recognizing that movement when you land is normal is a helpful ability." So it's kind of that whole idea of moving with what is. We're in this forward motion. We can't stop it. None of us saw this COVID thing coming. Nobody saw the fall of so many things of the world where I don't watch the news that often. Every once in a while, maybe like once a week, just to kind of get a perspective of what's going on in the world. But so much is happening, and the world is crying out right now for peace, for stability, for a sense that things are good is still in the midst of us. That we can still manifest from the tools that we do know, which is the law of attraction. We know what we give is what we receive. These are the rules that have always been there, and those won't ever leave us. But how we go about life has changed. The old is no longer serving us. The old ways of government, the old ways of healthcare, the old ways of handling all races, sexes, everything. It's a time of cleaning house to bring everything back to equality. Everyone is treated the same. Everybody gets the same health care. Everybody is taken care of, because eventually we have to evolve to a time where we realize that we are all souls, regardless of our backgrounds, that every soul has equal rights to live here. And so things of change don't come easily. Things of change come from an upheaval, an uprising. We are in a reset right now. We are witnessing history in the making, much like generations before us who weathered 2 world wars and the Great Depression. We are bearing witness to the big one in our lifetime. And I've spoken to the fact that many of us, if we believe in reincarnation or we believe in soul cycles that we travel with, that we have many friends that will join us during this time. We've been doing our spiritual development, we've been doing our practice, and we've been setting ourselves up for this actual time. That even though we're feeling bombarded and we're feeling like the brakes are off, we still have our tools to navigate and still be happy, peaceful, and divinely guided as we move through all of it. But we have to have our hearts be strong. God says, I will carry you through the difficult times. Spirit says, I will carry you through these difficult times. When things feel so out of control, you have to always remember that Spirit is right there waiting for our call of, please help me. Please clear my mind. Please take me out of this feeling of fight or flight. Please take me out of my fear so that I can open up to the abundance of this universe that is still moving in and through. As things are leaving, something there is waiting to fill it in such a more beautiful and incredible way. So the bottom point of me doing this talk is because I have been moving through my own fears. And I spoke to this a little bit last Sunday, but I just realized, we think that we've overcome our own personal fears, and then every once in a while, a cycle comes up and it re-brings up these things that are still having a life form within the way we handle life. And one of the things has been my dog. I talked about Gilly a lot, and Gilly is just this incredible little being that is my everything. I have children, I have a husband, I have a family, I have this church, but this dog, I don't know what it is. He just looks into my soul, and the beingness of him just is pure, unconditional love. There's no expectations, there's no nothing. It's just that he looks at me like I want everyone that looks at me. And he's been struggling with his health. And it's been taking me out of my center. I've done vets, I've gotten information, and I've been trying all these different things, but his life force has not been coming back. Like, the original issue was itching and stuff like this, but it was really this weakness in him. He's a runner, and he runs with me, 5 days a week. In the last month, he's not been running. He's walking really slow, and he's kind of like dragging his feet, and he's doing his own thing, and it's kind of set me into this state where I'm walking around in a state of fight or flight. And I'm noticing that that's kind of the default where I've fallen with it, which it also brings up the loss of a child that I've lost. It's brought up me being more overprotective of my kids because I'm afraid, because the world is so inconsistent right now, and it's so turbulent that I don't trust the outcomes of life right now. And I realize that I'm dealing with it through my old ways of dealing. My subconscious mind is not clear. It is not healed. If I'm sitting in a state of fight or flight with this dog, like I don't trust that somehow we're going to get this animal healed. And so, bringing the old to the new, the idea of this is a new earth. We are bringing in the new earth. There are new rules that are happening, and we don't know what those are. It's kind of like the boogeyman. We're looking around, and we don't know what's next. And how do we find that center when we don't know what's next? Right? That's the ultimate picture of change. And nobody on this planet is not feeling this, right? None of us are getting out of it. Before, we might personally be having a situation in our family and we're feeling all this change and we feel this way, but we're all living in this state of the not knowing. And it's creating a current of fear that exists that we also have to realize some of it's just not even what's going on in us. If we're vibrational beings, we're also feeling the vibrational energy of what's going on in the world, hence why I don't watch the news very often. So we are trying to find the new systems, but we won't recognize them right away because they are not of the old. They are of the new. So as far as our economy, as far as our abundance, as far as our government, as far as our marriages, as far as whatever has not been healed in our own personal lives and the outer world, we're seeing this current that the old is not working. So that also means that our old belief systems and our old limited thought processes that we've held about ourselves and how we handle life are also falling away, and they don't work in our current marriage or work in our current job or work in our current situation with our children. And so to know that this new system is coming and to be able to find the center in the not knowing, that's the real challenge. That's the real challenge. And then you add a situation like mine with my dog not doing great, and people that have family members that have COVID in hospitals right now and can't communicate with them and can't see them because of it. I have other people that have illnesses right now where they're in the hospital and I can't visit them. I can talk to them on the phone, but because COVID's in the hospital, they can't be visited with prior situations like cancer and things of this nature. Right before I walked on the stage, my phone dinged and it was a parishioner asking for prayers that her mom just been rushed into the hospital. My phone is doing that all day long right now. People's health is really not just about COVID. This stress is taking a toll on people's bodies. So it's so much when you just look everywhere. Everybody talks to me and they think that they're the only one that has something else going on besides just this pandemic, and that's not true. Everybody's lives are unraveling, and what's beautiful about unraveling is that we're getting back to the center, and we're going to discover what this new system is. We want to see God's glory in all this. We want to find peace in all of this. When we can find peace in all of this, then we know we have surpassed the world and the energy of this world that's holding us back from being the greatest, powerful, spiritual being that's a conduit for this love that needs to be seen in the outpicturing of this world. But again, when you find yourself in a situation like I'm finding myself, which is a state of fight or flight, I need to be with that. If you're finding yourself in a state of feeling lonely, or you're feeling whatever feelings that are limited in feeling whatever, where you feel like you're the only one, you're not, but to be with it. To find the limitations that's sitting within you that feels that way, right? The shame, the guilt, the grief, the low self-worth. There's only one way to shift out of these pain bodies that exist in our subconscious mind, and the only way is to transcend that thing that's coming up in your life. And my dog is not the core of where that fight or flight comes from. I have lived sort of in a little bit of a fever of fear that something tragic's going to happen ever since I lost my kid. I can never really let my kids do anything without having to calm myself down and be in affirmations and try to just because I know they have to be brave and I know they have to have fun and I know they have to be alive and have a good time, but I'm fighting myself to not overprotect them so that they'll be powerful beings for this world. But obviously I have an unhealed thing if I can't just let that be and trust that God has their back in everything they do and that I have no control. None of us do. It's trying to control the uncontrollable. In Waking Up in 5D, Maureen St. Germain says, waves of love. Humanity is being bombarded with tremendous support of change. It's an odd thing that as energy gently affects you, yet could affect you greatly if you invite it to do so. You are part of the system of third dimension that is changing. You are either ahead of the curve, in the middle, or behind it. It's more fun to be at the front of the wave, as there is an easy push, especially when you know it's coming. Have you ever stood at the seashore without looking and with your back to the waves? Probably only once. It's not fun getting knocked down by a wave that you didn't see coming. Yet you could choose to let the wave push you to shore. Just as a surfer rides the wave, there are many new tools coming your way. This energy is being broadcast all around you. It has come in to assist you to anchor the higher vibration into your body with grace and ease. Ask to easily receive and integrate the most evolved vibration possible for you this day. Ask to easily receive and integrate the most evolved vibration possible for you this day. Do it daily. Do it like this. And that was completely out of order. I don't know why that was there at that point in the sermon, but that's all good. I have how to do it, but I'll get to that a little bit later. So, it's kind of like, I was thinking about this, like when something goes missing and you don't know where it is, and all you want to know is where it is. All we focus on is finding this thing that is missing. And we're thinking that there's something out there that we could attain to get a greater understanding of what's going on right now so that we could finally have relief around all this stress that we're feeling. And ultimately, I don't think that this is a time where we're going to find the relief out there in any way, shape, or form. This is a time of internalizing and being with ourselves, self to self, self to spirit, self to the new, others to others, others to the planet, others to the universe. And when we really get that, when we can really connect with self to self, self to spirit, self to the new, we can move through this crisis that we're facing, because ultimately a crisis in the world becomes an identity crisis. Everything comes back to us and how we are responding. So if you are struggling with something, anything at all, then ask yourself, is this part of the new or is this part of the old? So it's really like asking that. Whatever, like, let's just bring to mind something that's happening in your life that you're wanting to find relief, wanting to find the answers, wanting to find the results. Are you looking at it through the pain body of your subconscious mind and how you always navigated things? Or are you open to discovering this new way? Which none of us know what that new way is, except every once in a while, you're probably feeling it in your dreams, or you're feeling it in your meditation. You have these whispers and moments, and there's a sense of, oh, that's what it is. Oh, that's what it is. All of this turmoil is making me go within myself to heal the last bits of things that have been taking my peace and my joy and my connection away. So, this last week, my daughter, we were supposed to take the kids on a camping trip 2 weeks ago, and Gilly's illness made me stay. So I decided to get my niece and my neighbor to stay at my house for 2 days, and we put up tents and we made it a camping trip at the house. We bought some inner tubes, and we went rafting down the Lions River with the kids, and we did s'mores, and we did everything we would have done on the trip. We just did it from our house and like surrounding areas, and we had a lot of fun. But Katya and all the kids, and my daughter Katya, who's 12, tends to have a default of fear around adventure. It's just something she's had, and I analyze it all the time, where I'm coming short and why she's fearful to do so many things. And then I have this radical son who's 14, and it's like, hold the horses. Like, this kid will do anything. I mean, it's like there's no fear, and so there's all these great stresses between both of those. And so they all went river rafting. I ended up actually sitting at the end of the river to collect them when they were done, because I had Gilly with me. And they had a great time, and then all the kids walked way up the river again, and they came down again. And it went well until Katya got kind of stuck in her raft before this next waterfall that came up, and she started struggling, and I saw the fear that she couldn't get out of this, and she's about to go over another big waterfall where the water gets really kind of intense. And so instead, she jumped off her inner tube, went over that big waterfall with her body, and she went under for a second. And to me, it felt like 2 seconds, but 2 seconds too long, considering, like I'm telling you, I'm walking around in a state of fight or flight anyway. And then I watched this happen. And when she pops up, I've jumped off this cliff. I took out my whole leg, and I'm running along this cliff to get to her. And I pull her out, and she's hysterical. I mean, she's hysterical. She felt like she'd been under for a whole minute. We're kind of talking about that idea when that first wave has hit you in the ocean and you end up under the water, and that feeling of the power of water. You know, everybody, do you all remember that first time when you discovered the power of water and you have no control, and that sense of fear that comes up from that? And when I pulled her out, she was just hysterical, and I said to everybody, all right, let's load the inner tubes up. I know the day is done. It's over. And we load up and we go home, and I'm thinking, I got to get her back on that raft. We've got to get back on that raft the next day. And I wasn't with her when I was there, but I wasn't in the water with her. And I said, Katya, you and I are going to go inner tube that river tomorrow. No, Mom. I'm like, no, I need to get you back on that inner tube. We're going to ride that thing. And this time we're going to go over that big waterfall, and I'm going to do it with you. And I'm kind of pushing her to do this. And she says, okay. So we go. And it was way scarier than I ever thought. I didn't actually realize how scary it was till I got in the inner tube, and I was like, whoa, I am way too old for this. I didn't realize, I'm just thinking making her be strong, and I'm like, gosh, this is no joke, you know? And we're about halfway down, and I see her eyes are crazy. She's beside herself, and she's terrified. And we're getting close to the point where we're going to hit these waterfalls, and I know I've got to get her off to a raft, and we got to get off. I don't want to push her over when she looks like this, right? And we get off the raft, and we have to hike forever to find this path to get down to Mike, who's waiting for us at the end of the river. And she's hysterical, and she's like, you just don't understand fear, and everything's always been easy for you, and you always want to push me to be something that I'm not, and I don't understand it. I'm just really scared, and I got pushed on that water for minutes, and da-da-da, and you think that I just ruined your day. And she's like going on this whole thing, and she's just projecting all over me, and I'm just hiking out, and she's screaming at me, and there's all these people around, and it's kind of humiliating, and I'm like, what is going on here, you know? And I didn't have the insight to help her in the moment. And I said to her, you know, if you're going to believe that things are scary, you're going to keep creating things that are going to make you fearful. And then we attract things that are scary to us when we believe that life is scary. And I just wanted you to get back on the raft, and I wanted you to overcome your fear, but I saw that you were too fearful and that it was too soon. So we'll go and we'll visit this later. But then over the weekend, she's been at her dad's, and I've been contemplating what was going on there. And I realized that I wasn't meeting her where she is. Her fear is hers. I don't have to take it personally that she has this fear. It just exists in her. If we're karmic beings, we come in with stuff, we don't, whatever. But what if I had met my own fear of when I've been afraid with Gilly, when I've been afraid when I lost a child, when I've been afraid and I felt abandoned, and I felt afraid of the elements of life. If I had just sat with her and hugged her and supported her the way that we know that God supports us when we're in fear, would that have not moved her energy differently than me doing kind of what the world says is get them back on the horse when they fall off the horse, or get back on the inner tube when they fall off the inner tube? What if we were met with more compassion and love? And I'm saying I made this mistake because we have this programming, and that's the way of the old. That's old information. You all heard that. Have you all heard to get back on the horse after you fall, get back up? And so I'm doing what the world says we're supposed to do to overcome your fear, but this is a new time. I didn't have to live through a pandemic at 12 years old. I wasn't taken away from my friends for the last 4 months without school, without an outlet, without hugs, without playfulness, without laughing. I was meeting her as if everything is the same as it used to be in the old days, and it's not. So what if we did meet ourselves and others in compassion, understanding that we're all moving through our fears, our limitations, our belief systems that have kept us stuck, where we have not moved into a more fluid, tai chiing, open, freeing, alive version of ourselves. And I've had to sit with this for days. I don't get my daughter back till tomorrow. I'm like panting at the bit to get her so I can just hold her and tell her I'm sorry that I couldn't feel that for you. That my ego was in fear too, that you're going to be a scared kid in this world and you're not going to be amazing. When that compassion and that love is all we all really actually need. We don't need to be bullied into being good at this pandemic. We need to feel the love of this universe that's holding each and every one of us as we move through these turbulent times. So we say, Dear God, may I gently and gracefully shift and change with the energies made available for me this day. May I gently and gracefully shift and change with the energies made available for me this day. And we all know, if you've played in oceans and rivers and whatever else, which I grew up doing all those things, and I did have parents that definitely got you back on a horse if you fell, and you definitely got back on the inner tube. So clearly, I'm not blaming them, but their biggest goal, I think, was to have really powerful, strong kids, and they got those. But it would have been okay when I got my knees skinned, like right off my knees from a bicycle, to have my mom go, oh, come here. I don't know. A cuddle for the ripped out knees. That's not how I was raised. It was like, you're tough, you got this, you're amazing. You're like, and I know my mom now and my dad now, they would cuddle and hold me now. Because we've all been evolving through time. And we recognize that love is the only thing that heals everything. So let's bring to mind, what is one of the waves that is pushing you to shore right now? What is one of the currents that's pushing you that you'd like to fight against and stop it from pushing you into your uncomfortable places in life? What is pushing you out of your comfort zone? And in the end, pushing you out of the comfort zone for your greater good. For your greater good. Take this to heart and ask your higher self to show you the spiritual miracle that is showing up for you in this void. We tend to go down this course telling ourselves that our good has left us in this job. Our good has left us in this relationship. Our good has left us in this situation with our health. Our good has left us. Because the default says, I need to do things the old way, instead of being open to the new. Right? So what if our response to things as they fall away that we are attached to and we want to grasp for, and we know that it's not going to work anyways, was to get excited? Working with the universe, which is when things go away, they make room for something better. When things fall away, it makes room for something better. And when we affirm that, and we know that, we live that, and then abundance, health, beauty is abound. Esther Hicks says it this way. When you spend time pondering, remembering, or imagining something, a vibration is activated within you. If you return to that thought, you again activate the vibration. The more often you revisit the thought, the more familiar the vibration becomes, and the easier it is for you to activate it, until eventually it becomes a dominant vibrational pattern within you. And as it plays a larger dominant vibrational pattern, things that match it begin to show up in your experience. So this message shows you that could be for great, great good. And that message also could mean that's for really, really not good. Because if we keep reaffirming and imagining in our minds something that we're afraid of, our vibration is activated with that. And we know what we feel, we will receive. We know what we think, we will receive. We know what we say, we will receive. We will be matched with anything that we hold vibrationally within ourselves, mind, body, and spirit. So, the question is, what do you want? Dream big. Get excited. Go for it, because the new rules aren't created yet. I know what I want. I want a planet for my children. I want honor in our government. I want health care for everyone. I want perfect health. You call out all the things you guys want, right? Because the new rules have not been created yet. And as a collective, when you see this bigger picture, because I don't think any of us want to be rich and be billionaires and see all the greed of the world, you all want something that's collectively going to be incredible. But we got to get this old, limited thinking and behavior that we're holding within ourselves that's creating the tiny, tiny, little me stuff that no longer serves us. So when you spend time pondering and remembering, you're going back to the old. It's more important to be imagining. I wonder is a wonderful statement. There's so much room in that statement. I wonder what it'll be like to have truth return to the earth. I wonder what it will be like to see all people recognizing that all these animals and all these birds in our environment matter. And to, in my lifetime, see it rejuvenate itself. I wonder what it will feel like when I'm completely healed, mind, body, and spirit. I wonder what I will attract to myself in that. So, after the situation with Katya this week, Gilly's still been quiet and walking slowly, and I'm taking him on walks, and I went on this walk without any of my kids, and he really was kind of like dragging his paws as he's walking. And I found myself signing up in fear of, I've done, medicine, I've done these things. He's eating now, his skin's better, but he has no energy. And I'm watching him walk, and I'm seeing myself getting signed up in the fear. And I asked myself, Syntysche, you realize that you have to find peace in the midst of this too. Even though this is breaking your heart, you have to find your peace. Because it's destroying everything around you. This was a visual for me to have an opportunity to have to do the practice. And I sat in allowance and I just asked God to fill my heart with joy and peace, even in the midst of this visual. And we were walking for just a few more minutes, and I got to this area where there's this secret labyrinth that's been built in lions that's just magic. I don't want to tell you where it is because I want it to be my own. But I went into this labyrinth, and I took his collar off, just his leash, to see if he would have anything. And he just took off and ran this labyrinth, like exactly the labyrinth, and jumping over it and running over it and playing and running on the river and playing and then running back to me and playing on the river. And I'm like, holy, what the? Playing, and I'm just sitting in elation of just pure God. What did I just do? What did I just do? What did I just do? No, I just gave this to God. I have to be okay with what's going on in the turbulence of this world, in the turbulence of my kids. I have to be able to find the center regardless of what's going on the outside. And by allowing that space, something happened in my dog. And he's been fine since. We've been on runs since. I did all the drugs, I did all those things, it didn't work, but me getting out of my own way somehow gave his life force back to him. Is it on? Okay. So I wanted to leave you with this quote from Esther Hicks again. I'm kind of feeling her work right now because it's so positive, so easy, and it works. You know, when you remember that your emotions indicate your degree of alignment with source energy, and that the better you feel, the more you are allowing your alignment with the things you desire, then it is easier to understand how to respond to your emotions. Absolute alignment with your own source energy means that you know the following: you are free, you are powerful, you are good, you are love, you have value, you have purpose, and all is well. So I just want to take you into a short meditation, just a mindful meditation, and just, ask Spirit to lock into your being pieces of this sermon that touched you today, so that you may work and bring it into your presence to bring the healing that is being called in your life. So we're just going to breathe in, and then we're going to breathe out. Calling to yourself what it is that you actually want, and feeling what that feels like. Nothing can hurt me. Nothing can make me sick. Nothing can make me afraid. I'm a perfect child of God, made in the image and likeness of God. And therefore nothing can be taken from me, because I am holy at the core of who I am. Open my eyes, O divine one. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to feel you. I want to feel you. Open my eyes, O divine one. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to feel you. I want to feel you holding me up, shining through my heart, overflowing, source of all life, as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Open my eyes, O divine one, open the eyes of my heart, I want to feel you, I want to feel you. And so it is. Amen. Woo. An offering for unity now, and we have many ways to support this incredible spiritual center. You can text to give. You can download the Easy Tithe on your phone. We have sheets out in the front lobby where you can do recurring donations. You could give $5 a month or $10, but that's very helpful for the church to plan upcoming events and things of that nature. And we have a basket outside for you guys to use, and we have dip jars that you can just dip your credit cards in as you leave. But let's take our offerings in our hands and let's bless it with this offering statement. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive because I give. And now we're going to invite you to join us with that same song. Faster. Open my eyes, O divine one, open the eyes of my heart, I want to feel you, I want to feel you. Open my eyes, O divine one, open the eyes of my heart, I want to feel you. Can you guys control this? I can't do this too. To feel you calling me up, shining through my heart, overflowing, source of all life, as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Open my eyes, O divine one, open the eyes of my heart, I want to feel you, I want to feel you. Open my eyes, O divine one, open the eyes of my heart, I want to feel you, I want to feel you, to feel you holding me up, shining through my heart, overflowing, source of all life, as we sing, holy, 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 to feel you holding me up, shining through my heart, overflowing, source of all life, as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to feel. Now we're just going to sing that over and over. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to feel you. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to feel And so it is. We want to let you know that we have social time out in the front steps after, and I'll be out there and love to chat with any of you. And we're just going to rise and close with Let There Be Peace on Earth. Peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as freedom, family harmony. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take this moment and live this moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And so it is.
Thank you all for showing up, wearing the mask. Thank you all for doing it in relationship to our beautiful community. Thank you.
And thank you for Marcia and Bruce and Bo on drums.
Go, Bruce! Do you have lunch plans, or do you want to join us for lunch in a little while?